I have to polish Metallica for this.
Yeah.
What in the?
Hey guys.
It's Easter.
Oh yeah, I said
Easter.
people can wear the Easter is because it's Easter.
Happy Easter.
It's Easter, so
Yeah.
you're gonna be a
I'm a
bunny?
stupid
Don't
sexy
wrap
bunny.
into prison, Misha.
Beans on the way up
boss
here.
after you.
Beans on the way up here, and then we'll be good.
Hey, Key, how are you?
You enjoy it.
Good, thank you, Chief.
I really hope I texted
Okay,
everyone.
well, maybe you should leave the
I mean,
class
who's
somewhere
missing
safe.
from high command? Viv and Davenport, no?
Yes.
I texted Ventura, Maeve, Ricky, Jenna, Viv, Davenport, Rosner,
Alan
Key, and Bean.
and Bean, yeah.
Why did Axel just twat out the Bean's fake?
I think Bean just drove past him on
Yeah,
the
he had to have.
68 and like made fun of him or some shit.
Okay, I have Misha on the phone to me right now reading me smart. So
Okay,
Misha,
well,
just
I'm gonna
put the CVPI back
Fix
where
the
you found it,
door.
okay? I gotta go.
You know, repair. Hey, we're gonna have
Hey.
to repair that.
Tan, we're not paying for
Oh, hey,
shit.
Brian. You better repair that door.
Oh
Hey,
my
Brian.
god, Tan, I'm so sorry I didn't see you.
Hi, Brian.
The fuck is there a meeting on Saturday?
This wasn't
Rhodes,
supposed to
he
be like
called
an
it.
all hands on deck, but I did
Oh.
want to explain. So I sent everyone a text, actually excluding you, Brian,
Brian, did you get the
because it
text?
didn't. No, Brian didn't actually get the text. Though Ruth was aware
What the fuck?
of what I did. The long story short is, all of our command and high command roles had access to investigative reports, which doesn't seem like a problem at first. But a few people have expressed concerns. And Key, this is actually entirely separate to the high command report that you had put up. So I only saw that after I changed what I changed in the MDT. But Pred's department is utilizing our same ranks, which gives them access to, if he decides all of his members in his department are command, they would all have access to all the investigative reports. And people had expressed concerns regarding that. So as a stopgap, at least on a temporary basis, what I did was I removed investigative reports from every command and high command role for the time being. And then Richard went ahead and added everyone who is in high command as a detective. And the only rank that should give them access, I didn't look at any of the marshal stuff, but any rank that should give them access to investigative reports is the detective or the lead detective role, which everyone in here should have in some capacity. Maybe excluding Brian. I'm not sure how the marshal stuff set up. I imagine you have access.
All the marshals are high command, and they have the admin tag as well.
Okay. So the
I'm only kidding.
TLDR.
You should not be okay with it.
Well, no. Well, listen, that was gonna have to be a separate conversation.
like, yeah,
not
whatever.
for right
Okay.
now. Yeah, like we'll have a separate conversation. But the reason I pushed it without any input from you guys was because this was a conversation had in shift 3. And I didn't want there to be an issue of potential investigations or whatever being leaked by individuals from Pred's department. It's not necessarily I don't trust Pred. It's more so there's a lot of unknowns regarding their access, how that's going to be dealt with in the MDT. Ruth did mention to me that she'd be willing to make new ranks for this department because it's quite a tedious process, kind of asked to deal with. But that is why all of you guys, again, excluding you, Brian, got that text message from me earlier today. I just wanted to ensure that everyone understood why. And it wasn't just I'm making decisions on my own. I just wanted there to be a stopgap before or until we figure out how we're going to proceed moving forward. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
It makes
Okay.
sense. I know you say that it isn't because you don't trust Kyle, but there is no other way that this could be seen other than we do not trust the new department.
You're not wrong. The thing is, I've also had prior conversations. For example, Opal is someone who previously was pushing for command to not have access to investigative reports. That one's a little more involved because there's also the simultaneous gravy situation, which was, I think, a little sus without any sort of concrete stuff happening. And I don't have the full context as to how that was all resolved, but she was pretty adamant that she didn't want command members having access to the investigative reports. And it really should just be detectives. I'm going to be honest, I really don't care. At the end
That's
of the
how it
day,
used
high
to
command
be.
should absolutely have access, but I'm indifferent on the command portion. I can see how that opens us up to like people learning about sort of long-term investigations regarding individuals that they're not familiar with, but like friends with. Um, Again, I'm indifferent. I could be swayed either direction. But the larger question is how we deal with it with Pred's department, specifically investigative reports, whether or not they should have access. If they're a community policing department, as they said they were,
You know what? I
does it
think you
even
guys
matter?
got this. All right. Let me
Yeah,
know when there's
understood.
any
Ryan.
probable cause on any wrongdoing.
Yeah, understood.
I'll-
Got it. Okay.
Um, I mean, are we really expecting them to go through investigative reports and just leak a bunch of shit just cause?
No, I don't actually think they would do that. But I think one of the things that Richard had brought up to me earlier today was specific to it may not even be intentional leaking, but like ultimately, if they're a community policing department, sort of what business do they have with investigative reports to begin with?
Well, they could respond to a 911 about, like, I don't know, a stabbing and want to investigate that. I suppose. I could see them needing investigative reports.
That would just be like a typical
That'd be a
report.
regular report.
The thing about that, Jeneth, is that I tell people, and I think we all agree, you don't need to have detective tags to do an investigation, and the investigative report isn't a necessity to do a long-term investigation. It's just something that's often used as a smart idea.
Mhm.
Question: did you break FTO reports?
The FTO reports are broken now. In fact, also side note, the undersheriff tag also does not work. I woke up
It's
this
always-
morning.
It's
Yeah.
always been ass.
Yeah, I woke
Okay,
up this
I
morning.
didn't touch
Oh.
anything but investigative reports.
Okay, well, Ruby said that permission seems to have been changed and nobody can make FTO reports.
Yeah.
I'm checking that now. I can't do it
How?
either.
Yeah,
I
couldn't
didn't
make
even
one.
touch anything with FTO reports.
Rose!
I didn't
Yeah.
even
Oh.
look.
6 different FTO tags.
Um.
And only
Oh
some of them
wait,
work.
hold on.
Okay.
I
Now you-
changed the
you
name. I
realize
put a
what you did.
I put a prefix of PD before everything. Maybe wait, doesn't the FTO thing give you? Oh my gosh, I put a
Okay.
prefix because. One moment.
I'm telling Ruby you
all
did.
right. We had two questions there that we should address. The roles thing that generally needs to be worked on because that seems like it is kind of a mess and inefficient at best.
Oh, it's atrocious.
Yeah, so that's kind of a side note that maybe we can get some hits together and like that is literally just going to be 3 or so people are going to have to sit in a room and spend 18 straight hours
You want to know
fixing
what's gonna
that
happen?
without
You know what's gonna happen?
stopping.
volunteer
Yeah,
is
yeah. I was
tricky.
gonna say, you want to know what's gonna happen? It's gonna be Maeve in Bean's passenger seat, diving into the config because she's gonna be like, "Oh my god, what's this shiny new thing I can tinker with?"
Yeah,
And
if
she's gonna end up fixing every rank.
Maeve and Ruby want to deal with it,
Well, Ruby probably won't. She's just pointing out the inability right now in Shift 2, I'd imagine.
as
Guys,
long
there is
as
nobody in this universe that loves spending more time in their MDT than me.
yeah, I think the issue is that it's going to have to be done very quickly because you won't be able to. You're basically going to disable the whole PD for a whole day to deal with that shit.
Just
I
Oh,
can do
man.
it.
That's
I
never
can
gonna
do
be
it
able to
very
happen.
early in the
What's up,
morning
Brian?
tomorrow.
Just real quick. The
Sunday,
permissions
like-
on the MDT, be very careful with them, because when ranks get sorted and it's done too quick and you save it too quick, it can wipe other ranks out.
Is my office bugged? How did you
did-
know we were talking about that?
Huh?
You got a bug
Were
in
you
here?
guys just talking about it?
Yeah, like literally
Yeah.
exactly that. You
got a
interrupted
bug
us
in here?
talking about
It
that.
just came to it came to
He's-
mind. 'cause
listen,
if-
Vinny, he's a veteran. All right, he's been
li-
through
listen,
this before.
Listen, hey, I need to get out of here. So look, we had 2 of our ranks get wiped yesterday evening, and they had to get recreated. So
Oh, it wasn't me, guys. It wasn't
whenever-
me.
no. Whenever it does happen, it should probably be a singular individual. Otherwise, the
Yes. You can't be
Sync,
working simultaneously through it.
Okay. Quick question:
Gotta do
Who
that.
is the
Alright,
best
let's
person
go.
for the marshals?
Wait,
Ruth.
wait,
Probably
I heard
Ruth.
Marshall. What's
Ruth.
up?
Ruth.
Ruth.
Who is the best person for the? Ruth is the best person.
Blunt.
Blunt.
And Ruth.
Blunt and Ruth. Okay, Maeve, get with either Blunt or Ruth and figure out the
One second,
ranks.
Bill. 1 second.
Okay.
I would also recommend taking a photo of all your ranks before touching the
Okay.
rank section,
have, like,
just
10.
in case.
Okay, yeah, there would be a pre-plan.
I think he means before you tweak a rank, take a photo of how it's set up right
Oh,
now.
Yeah.
right. Okay. I was
It's
gonna
not even
say.
about if two people are working on it at the same time. It's you have to synchronize the roles, and if you save and then synchronize, it sometimes unsynchronizes the other role.
Mhm.
It's
Okay.
very flaky.
Mhm.
All right.
Best of luck,
Yeah.
guys.
Russell,
that-
I don't see why the entire PD, like you said, would have to be like disabled. I don't see why
Well,
ranks can't be.
I can
updated.
explain. You can't make a temporary role because you can't remove them.
Yeah, but,
So we can't just make a bunch of new roles for PD and then transition everyone to the new ones without there being an excessive amount of old.
but why
roles.
do we need to make new roles? Isn't she
Yeah,
just
why can't we
updating
just
current
fix
roles?
the current
Uh,
ones?
w- so I'm assuming Rosner is saying you have to remove all of the permissions to. If you have okay, if you've looked at the config, the issue with it is that the rank of officer and the rank of senior officer, while they may share all of the same permissions, depending on how you added those permissions, they can be entirely out of order. The access to view a report or create a report or update a report can be at the very top if those are the first things added, or they could be at the very fucking bottom. So there's no like easy way to ensure that everything is the same unless you quite literally start fresh. Remove everything and then add everything in the exact same order as it should be.
yeah, I mean,
We have ranks where those like report view permissions are at the very bottom. Most are towards the top. Some are in the middle. But it makes it such a fucking hassle and a chore to deal with.
very simply, out of the small amount of people that is in this room, a few of us had our roles changed and our permissions changed. I woke up this morning, as I've said to a few people, I was a view-only cop. I could see reports and not all of them. I couldn't see some reports. I could see incidents and not all of them. I could search for some things, and I couldn't edit or change any reports or incidents. So I had to mess with my own permissions once again because I couldn't. I still can't make an announcement. I could create an
I think
announcement.
that's just the undersheriff tag.
Yeah,
It's just fucked.
which is why I changed myself to captain.
Even as sheriff, I still have the captain rank right now. The captain
Yeah.
rank as high command is the most stable rank in the MDT because it's the longest lasting one.
So that's what I mean. Is some roles would have to change, and that's going to cause problems like people not being able to make FTO
Let me
reports.
put it this way: when the BCSO was created, Bones and Cassidy made the BCSO ranks.
Okay,
So
yep, that makes sense.
if you want to figure out why there's holes, that's why.
Maeve, good luck.
But the thing is, when Maeve's updating ranks, they don't live update as she's changing stuff. She can make changes, and then the moment she syncs, and then people reset their MTs, that's when their rank gets
Can
updated.
someone tell me what the sync permission buttons does?
It's like if you change something, it's whatever you change won't happen until you click sync. That'll sync it and update the rank, and then you save.
Then what
on
is
the
the
way out.
save button for?
I'm going to assume
Because sync to me sounds
change
like you make
title,
it the
essentially.
same as
Yeah,
another
I think
role.
save is for the title, sync is for the permissions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think that even with a perfect plan, putting heads together and getting that organized, there are going to be things that might be minor mistakes or things that were left out or maybe
If you
even
want
missed.
if you want to tip Maeve, I have a cousin named Smokey who I give ranks in the PD when I'm testing stuff out, and I open up my MDT at home on the side and I update that, and I see what he's able to access to see if it's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to like see if the permissions are working properly, because you have technically two MDTs open, right, for two different people.
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, because we're in an adjacent topic, but like circling back to the original, how do we want to address the investigative reports portion of our reports? Are we going to keep them command plus? Are we going to keep them high command plus? Obviously, in addition to actual detectives. And if we do go, say, command plus, does everyone understand that Pred's department would inevitably have access to that? Because I'm going to assume anyone currently in that department is going to hold a position of command and above.
Most apprehensive. I think it is better just to keep it command plus. I don't think the Prid's department should. And then correct me if. I mean, I've spoken to Jenna and Maeve about this. Our sergeants are expected to write and sign off on search warrants, which might include data and information from investigative reports. We do not trust those sergeants with access to that investigative report. They shouldn't be a sergeant. Simple as.
Counterpoint, if it's going to be in a subpoena or a search warrant, it's going to have to be articulated regardless, right? You look at it from the judge's perspective of blank canvas. All of those things are going to have to be articulated in that statement of PC to get to that point of PC. So you shouldn't have to reference the investigative report if the stuff is going to be in the subpoena or search warrant anyways.
Yeah, valid. Other counterpoint. We have Montez as a detective, and she's only a deputy. We trust her implicitly. Why would I not trust my sergeants?
I don't necessarily agree that it's like a. I mean, it is, but it isn't a trust issue as much as it is us limiting information on sort of a need to know basis, I guess, is how I would best describe it. Is that the best way to describe it? I don't know. That's just the first thing that sort of came to mind. And again, I know very specifically Opal had expressed interest in having access removed from command to investigative reports. And that was with the context of Gravy, which Rosner, you are aware of at the time. Again, it seems as though everything is sort of cleared up, but just the general aspect of limiting the amount of people who do have access to those investigative reports. Key, Bean, what are y'all's thoughts?
Just so you know, Chief, the Gray situation ended with a suspension and then complete removal of him from CID completely. So he will no longer be participating in any of that. But if the system says as is, he would still be able to see the report. I don't really think that's a problem. Like, I'm not perturbed by that. I'm just more on the side of, do we trust people to you see all this information? Obviously we do. Otherwise they shouldn't be command. But at the same time, does every member of command need to see all of this information? And I think a stopgap really would be if, all right, it's high command only or detective tags. Anybody is completely within their right to say, all right, well, my sergeant is unable to see them, but I'll just give them the detective tag. Like, that's a workaround, but it becomes a need to know thing. I don't really think it matters either way. It's just the way that we want to, keep the information close to chest, when the reality is we should trust every single officer. It's not just command. Every single officer should be trusted to not leak or talk about any PD internal documents under any circumstances. And yet, we all know that that is not the case whatsoever. So I just kind of feel like either way, it's not a problem. And if you want to circumvent the big sweeping change of HC only, I mean, everybody in this room has detective tag right now, and nobody else in the entire PD can see it, right? You could just do that if that was your prerogative. But me personally, if this change went through as it is, I would only give the detective tag to sergeants and lieutenants that I felt were invested in that line of policing. Otherwise, why? Like, what's the point?
I agree.
And again, either way, I'm not bothered. It's just I feel like those are the two argument sides. We should trust every single officer.
Can I add something?
Go for it. Go for it.
I would say, beside the trust thing, having it limited, having investigative reports limited, does
Can't believe Joe
kind
Rosner
of
did this.
I can't
ensure
believe Joe
that
Rosner did this.
Can't believe
if
Joe Rosner
something
did this.
This
were
was
to
all Joe
somehow get
Rosner's
leaked,
fault, by the way.
you do have a
Literally Rosner's fault.
smaller pool
Literally
of
was all
people
Rosner's
to
fault.
look at.
Dog, thank you so much.
It is true.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just think back to like the whole some people implying certain things, and then like as a result of information that they have from a report. Obviously, investigative reports, the general idea behind that is those are more long-term investigations, or things with, say, higher consequence to some degree. I don't want people sort of. It's easier to contain this information when fewer people have access, I think, is the again the best way to describe it. Is it the perfect way? No. In an ideal world, we would have audit logs of every time someone has access to report to be able to narrow things down or figure out if and when people are snooping when they have no business doing so. Unfortunately, we don't. So that's a bit or complicates things a bit. Again, I'm indifferent, so ultimately, I'll leave this up to vote as to whether or not we have it so that command and above can. I mean, the choice is ultimately y'all's.
Make it,
But we also then need to address the other elephant in the room, which is ODPD.
I
might be a
think
little bit difficult whenever we assign a command member to oversee an investigation and they don't have the tag. Do we like?
If
There
think
might be
that's
a
just
reason
someone's
giving them
going
that
to be
they
doing that,
don't.
you would just give it to them. Like that's
Yeah.
for me. Out of 4 of my sergeants, I would trust maybe not trust, but 3 of them I think would be suited to handle detective stuff. One of them I think wouldn't have the, like that's not in line with what they do day to day. So for me, I would give 3 the tag and 1 no tag because it's unnecessary. And if that ever changed, well then I would just change it on the day. Right? Here's the tag. Now it's relevant. And I think that need to know basis idea I really like, just because it just makes sense, right? If over there Rosner trusts every single one of his officers and they're all about it and they do time spending involved in investigations every day, then yeah, they should all have to tell. I think it's more so about limiting things so we have a narrower crowd to deal with when things go wrong. Because the truth is, every single LEO should be trusted not to leak, and yet half the investigations we do are leaked frequently. And yet no one ever gets punished for it because it's an impossibility to even figure out who did it 9 times out of 10. The only reason I decided that this was something worth talking about is I was just informed that back in the day it was HC restricted. So I thought, yeah, I mean, makes sense to me, right? Need to know basis.
Yeah. For me, though I'm indifferent, I would definitely prefer high command, in addition to obviously detectives and anyone on a need to know basis. I think every command member should be able to give themselves tags technically. In the MDT, not that anyone should just, oh, I'm command, let me just add this and check what I shouldn't see, right? Like that would be stupid. I can add the role of admin, which quite literally has every single permission in the MDT, but it's intended for Angel, essentially when the MDT stuff even started. Doesn't mean you should, right? Like you need a shred of common sense to figure that out. So how do we want to deal with this? That's ultimately what this boils down to.
Final question, at least for me. How long would it take until ODPD find out that that is what is going on and then just add the detective tag to all of their department?
I don't know the answer to that. But the reality is, I think it would be hard to justify a community policing department with a detective division.
Rosner, if I can add something, I think I don't really care about the ODPD problem as of today. I just think that whatever happens with that will happen no matter what we say in this room.
Agreed.
Obviously, because they have, you know, equal permissions to all of us, right?
Mhm.
So I think thinking about that, if it were me making the call, I'd say we go to the PD detective thing tag, high command only, and the minute that they complain or want to open up a discourse, well then, you know, you have the same access as us, go ahead. I'm just more so thinking about like the core problem, right? And again, if everybody said no, I would be happy just walking out of the room. It's just, does anybody have an opposition to HC restriction, and you at your leisure as high command assign the detective rank to people that need that? And you could even remove it too. If someone wants to temporarily lead a case, I think that would be good practice. Hey, you're on a 1 month Hydra versus the Clown case. It's now concluded. You won in court. I'll take the PD detective rank, because all of that additional stuff that you see, really, that you don't need to see.
I'm not
I agree.
particularly keen on removing access of like our sergeants, lieutenants from the reports, since we have the expectation of them to have oversight, and I think that it's folly of us to expect them to have that, like, you know, to have that expectation while withholding information from them. But I do agree with the concerns with the OTPD. Um, I just hate that it's, you know, we're restricting like our officers, our deputies, right? Because of this group that, I mean, realistically speaking, we don't really know what their plans are. Or at least I don't. I don't know if you guys have more info than I do. Is it? I also don't really understand how the roles work within the MDT. Can we not make like a new report type, and then their roles only have access to those report types? I don't really know how that works. Could we not
Yeah.
make them their own thing?
The marshals technically do that with each of the different tags regarding different investigations. Like, I mean, you can look through High Command and see a bunch of us have different tags regarding to marshal investigations, which will give you access to very specific investigations and reports in line with that investigation.
Because couldn't we just tell them you don't have access to the BCSO and the LSPD, XYZ, whatever it is? I'm like, I'm genuinely just not really sure how those roles work.
Constitutionally, legally, that becomes a question of, do we even have the right to stop them if they're considered a law enforcement department? I'd have to read through Constitution on that. And again, that if they have access to changing roles, wouldn't they just add the tag anyway?
I mean, the same before us, right? Like, they can just give themselves the detective roles.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
I feel like
I'm
this is just a big
I've
hypothetical.
scrolling through the config stuff. Repeat that last part, Jenna.
I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what I said.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
think it's somewhere you said, why don't we just create their own roles for their department that aren't able to see reports from
So
investigation reports from our department? Is
so
that right, Jenna?
that is
Yeah.
doable, but
It's a bit complicated, maybe.
not that it's very tedious. It's a pain in the ass making new ranks, because there's a gazillion fucking things that you have to have access to or give permissions to. It's messy, which is why, knowing the type of person Pred is, he is quite literally just going to use what currently exists, which is why I adjusted what currently exists to not give access to the investigative reports
Okay.
and just
I mean,
have
that
it
makes
the PD
sense.
detective role that gives access.
I'll be honest.
Gee, well, I didn't know that. So he's gonna make everyone command. I didn't know that.
No, I don't know. I don't know, but at least I'm assuming
Oh,
anyone
you're
who
concerned
had.
it might happen.
I mean,
All of them were as high command
technically,
before, so
technically,
From-
Brian does the same thing with the marshals, right? Like, everyone in the marshals is technically considered command for the purpose of, like,
I've
approving
dealt with
warrants and
Pred
such.
before in detective departments. I don't think he's the type of person who would go
From
out
what I
leaking
was told
investigations.
by, who knows if it's a likely
that's
source, the starting
Winston-
roster
That's from
are
Winston
all going
Walker.
to be high commands, captains, assistant chief. So you know, there's 7 of them or so, however many it is. And then everybody that follows, I imagine, will probably trickle into, those command ranks first and foremost, and then the rest will just be your regular officers. So it won't be all command, but it'll be very command heavy relative to us, both departments.
Gee whiz, okay.
Yeah.
Should we put this up to a vote and just come to a consensus here as to how it's dealt with?
Yeah, I think if anyone not here feels strongly for or against it or whatever, then we can always revisit in the future, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
The one thing I want to add is I just think like this decision is just, do we think assigning the ranks on a need to know basis is a smarter way of attempting to limit leaks? And whatever Kyle Pred and the ODPD do, we can't prevent that. If they want to do something crazy, they can. And if they're not bothered whatsoever, like that's all on them. I think we should just solely focus on if we think it's a smarter way to limit stuff and forget about what might happen.
I definitely think it is. Because much like you said, while we should be able to trust every officer, half of the investigations get leaked. So by limiting the amount of information available, while not ideal,
it's because 90% of the investigations are done in reports rather than investigative reports.
Scenario.
Because
and
there's
you
not
as
a
well,
lot of
Jenna,
detectives in the
if you do
BCSO. We
have
have
an
3
unwavering
detectives
trust and a
now.
belief that all of your command should be able to see that, well, then that's fine. Just give them the tags, and then you just have to do 1 extra tag for those people. Like that's completely okay.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
I'll probably just vote for
Is anyone
this, and then we'll just give.
For me, I think the middle ground of what Key mentioned is what I am 100% on board with. High command, but specifically with the separate tag and it not just being associated with the rank that you have in the MDT, in addition to detectives themselves and command on a need-to-know basis. And when things are no longer on a need-to-know basis, that those tags get removed. Is there anyone who is against that? Because for me, that's the perfect middle ground. But obviously, I don't want to speak on, or speak on, or for everyone rather.
And then there's just everybody's for it, and then we'll just
for it.
Yeah, no objection.
I'm for it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't mind. The only thing I will say, the only comment I will make is that typically with a toddler, when you tell them they can't have something, they'll want it more. So like Alan said, like somebody said that, it's not really a problem. And if they want to make a problem of it, they will. There's an entire world where they don't give a fuck about investigative reports, but the moment they catch on wind that they have been removed access, they will then care about it and then seek it.
If their community policing endeavors do result in
1, 2, 3,
investigative
4, 5,
reports
6,
and
7, 8.
detectives, then I guess we'll visit that whenever we get there. Who knows? This could be a conversation that happens with Pred tomorrow. Who the fuck knows? But well, quite literally everyone is here in command with the exception of Davenport, who I will explain it to, in addition to Viv, who I will also explain it to. And we'll just go from there. I don't think this is a give Pred a call and let him know what's going to happen. He's quite literally not going to know any different.
High command restriction.
We just go from there.
They only have high command. Sorry, high
there's
command
an issue that's
restriction.
presented,
Only high command plus
that we look at and go, yeah, I can understand the frustration or the problem or whatever, and we address it at that point.
I think Maxwell will notice pretty quickly, having been in high command for so long and being used to having seen investigative reports, she will notice that she probably doesn't, and then she will catch on pretty quickly. That is likely the detective rank. So I imagine this is not going to go unnoticed for very long.
And to be fair, if they notice it, we just tell them exactly this, when making sure that command only have access to investigative reports, and then adding command members on a need-to-know basis.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
cool.
I mean, ultimately, it just gets communicated to them. It's not like we're lying. I truly don't think this should be much an issue.
All right.
Okay, resolved.
Is that it? All in on the tags?
Well, I mean, there's apparently other things, but full disclosure, I touched nothing with.
You broke FTO reports. Okay.
No, Brian's already mentioning that shit broke yesterday. I didn't touch anything.
Yeah, but
I think final
like 12
topic.
hours
Okay, we
ago.
forgive you, Rose.
Final quick topic, just so everyone's aware, we have the LSPD BCSO have negotiated joint custody for Arjun. Arjun will remain on the LSPD roster with his LSPD call sign, but I think Tuesday, Thursday is just what makes the most sense. Tuesdays, Thursdays, he'll be in BCSO uniform. And
Well, hold on, we haven't determined dates.
it just makes sense for it to be Monday you, Tuesday
What's
us.
happening with Arjun?
We've got split custody. We've got shared custody.
Joint custody.
We did this with Jimbo, and
I
then he
feel like I've
died.
seen
Are
this
we sure this
episode
is?
before.
Yeah, let's
Arjun
not do
won't
this.
die. Arjun won't die.
You sure?
If he does, somebody else named Arjun will probably
Who's going to
show
lead
up.
TRT if Arjun dies? He did so well.
He will from the grave. He'll find a way.
Guys, context here. The man went MIA for 3 months. I emailed him. He showed up for a day. He went MIA for 3 more months. The next time I see him, he's dressed as a prostitute at a large-scale OIS at the Humane Labs.
Yeah, he led that shit. That was good op.
You did good.
Jenna, that's where you and I got shot in between the garage doors.
But with the joint
Wait,
custody,
that was odd.
with joint custody, Rose and I agreed that any civil suit that should derive from Arjun will be split half-half by the departments.
Oh, it depends on the day.
No.
No. The reason we're
blanket.
splitting half-half is because we don't want to sit there and, let's be honest, Arjun's not going to remember what department he was in that day.
We'll know what happened. What the incident? We'll know from the incident.
That we won't, because he's not gonna. You think he's gonna document that he was a deputy?
No,
What
I mean
day?
like we'll
Starts their
know
form with
if
that
he's on
day or
Tuesdays
who's
or
If it was
Thursdays.
created on
Yeah,
a Tuesday or Thursday.
Well, okay, so I don't actually think we go with Tuesday, Thursday. I think because of how infrequent Arjun can be, I do agree. I think it just needs to be an every other day thing. Because I don't. How else do we properly split it?
He doesn't have a schedule. You emailed him his text him for schedule. He doesn't have an answer for that. He's gonna respond with yes.
Hey, which sergeants would I not
So
give detective access to?
every other
Let's have a
day
look.
he's on duty. He
Right, 'cause
swaps,
the
but he starts
detective-
with LSPD.
Okay, fine. So his next shift.
Does
back,
that
he's
give
on
us a
duty.
Hilda, I
technical
guess,
majority?
is
Sure,
a
yes.
non-detective minded person, but I still
Okay,
would
so
trust
that's
her
how
with
we'll
detective
split the-
access. Slow, I would trust with
You know, he's not
investigative
around during
access.
weekends, it'd be
DuPont, I would
5
trust
days,
with
3 and
investigative
2.
access. Sky, I would trust with investigative
LSPD,
access.
BC, and then he'll swap from there.
Every other
Perfect.
shift he swaps.
Works for
Every
me.
shift. Every shift. he
Nova
swaps.
is already a detective.
All right.
And if he's
Odette,
having,
I would trust
actually, no,
with
never mind.
investigative
Never mind.
access, and Betty, if she gets promoted
No,
to shift
we're good.
good.
We're good.
3,
Hey, I think
sergeant,
To
I would also trust.
delete ranks?
No.
Only the MDC guy.
Oh
can.
dear, Maeve. Oh dear.
She's already
Maeve.
cooking. Look at her.
Yeah.
Is there food in the fridge, Vinny? I'm famished.
I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll
there
take
should
a
be
My
look.
some
wife
in
brings
there.
me lunch. I don't ever look in that fridge. All right, good
Okay,
meeting.
we get it,
Golly,
Ventura.
food.
You vape. My goodness.
We all know you vape.
You
bro.
have a
Wait,
you
Wait,
have a
Ventura.
wife.
Yeah.
You see
Oh,
what
should
texted
I-
you
should I
about
leave?
Lucas?
Oh yeah. I saw
No.
that.
No.
Lucas.
Yeah.
Lucas died.
Lucas.
Pardon?
That's my grandson.
No,
He did
no,
not
no,
die. He
Lucas?
did not die.
No.
Miller
did
just
not
called
die.
me
Lavender.
Lavender's
No.
dead.
No, he's not dead.
No. He stepped down as sergeant because he doesn't feel like he can put enough into it right now. He wants to
Also
see people like
PRT
until
lead.
they're thriving in the role. Yes, I'm PRT lead, so we need a BCSO shift one.
Yeah,
PRT
I
lead.
know. I already asked Bradford for his opinion, so we're pending in the motion.
He's not red
Wait,
shift one.
is it BCSO lead or BCSO shift one lead?
Lead,
Okay,
just BCSO lead.
so it can be anyone from BCSO.
Is Bradford's equivalent for like any like cert changing decisions or like
Okay.
making new
He
supervisors?
did say he wants to stay as a supervisor if that's okay.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
So I don't. Is that something that's in like ranks or roles, or
No.
is that just a internal
Just
thing?
in operation.
Okay.
Okay.
Does anyone recall the specific issue that Ruby had brought up with?
Not creating FDO reports. Unable
Okay.
to.
No
create them.
one, no one can make
Yeah,
them.
that all FDO reports are unable to be made.
I'm trying to look for the FTO tag. I cannot
Is
find
it?
it.
Yeah, I can't find it either. Is it the DOC one? Did you change the FTO one to be the DOC FTO report?
The only thing I changed was anything that I had reason to believe was
It's a
PD has the
cert.
PD
It's a cert.
Yeah. It's a cert.
dash prefix.
Wait, so how
I
do we
didn't change
certs?
any. I
On
don't.
the cert,
We
the
can't.
cert.
It doesn't.
Certs are changed on the staff page. They're created and changed on the staff page.
So how would we have changed one that we're not?
They're not editable. All the cert does.
Hold on. I'm gonna remove it from me and then add it back and see if that resolves it.
There's like 6 different FTO cert. A couple are capitalized, couple aren't.
I think
Only
it's the
some of
one
them
under
work and some
motor.
of them don't.
I'm gonna ask the IT guy if he, off the top of his head, he knows what controls FTO reports.
Okay. Yeah,
Ask him if he's
because
having a good day as well.
Yeah.
the
No.
certs
What?
like
So
the
rude.
certs give you permissions, or are they just
They do, but we don't
like,
have access
are they just
to
pretty?
touch anything.
What?
Like
That's
it
confusing.
doesn't. Yes,
I
it
just got
doesn't.
emailed by the IT guy before I emailed him saying, "Do not disturb."
Oh,
So you should have asked him if he was having a nice day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe then we wouldn't mind being disturbed by you.
Say
Should've
you
typed
was gonna
quicker.
ask him if he has a nice day.
Because I was reading it and I said, "When the fuck did he message me this?" And then I realized it's the same minute.
I don't know, guys. I only put a prefix of PD. That's all I did. I swear. I promise.
Regardless, if Maeve gets with Ruth and all, what's his
He
name?
said the sir, and then he said, "I don't know which dumb fuck keeps creating more FTOs."
Yeah.
No, I think that's for other departments or something.
Again,
We have no control over it.
Yeah, we can optimize and figure out the way it is. Plan a way of attack, especially because the marshals have those certifications that lead to investigation reports, and those are critical and cannot be lost. Could you imagine if we made a mistake and
Those are
everybody...
ranked though, aren't they? Aren't they rank and not cert?
He said there's
Yeah.
only
Which
one.
ones was
He
it?
said there's only one. It's the one that, and it's the one that's by motor. It's like the relevant one, I guess.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
Could
It's
the
the
others
audio.
then be deleted? The ones that are balked? Or nah?
Oh, I see. I see.
For context, I gave myself, or I removed it. I gave it back. I reset my MDT, and I still can't do anything.
I think he just.
FTO report.
Hang on. I think he just hotfixed something.
Oh,
He said I renamed the wrong ones. Fake FTO role.
honestly, it's valid.
That's
for that.
good. I like
That
that
works.
one. If that's easier than deleting, I like that one. That's a good one.
Fake FTO role 2, fake FTO role, and then FTO. Yeah, I can't create FTO reports still. So I wonder what broke that.
We shall figure that
And
out.
why is there 3 K9 certs?
There's
You don't
also
even have
like
dogs.
sheriff and under sheriff.
Well, sure.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
Sheriff. I'm pretty sure my dog Captain made the sheriff rank.
Okay.
Can the IT guy come in for a meeting so we can chat
Hell
with
no,
him?
he's gonna fucking.
They're way too
He'd
busy.
probably do. He'd probably rather do something, anything else. He just said fuck no and all.
Invite them to Easter lunch. Oh, we're
yeah.
supposed to go to Easter lunch.
Maeve,
Why are there
I think
canines
generally work with what you got. Don't hope for anything extra. But yeah, speak with the marshals, Ruth and Blunt, and get a plan of attack for sorting out the certifications and the ranks.
What? We have a Brazilian jiu-jitsu
can't-
expert, sir.
And a butter
Can
chicken.
I have that one?
Don't touch that
Or
one.
we
Don't touch that
can't.
one.
What's in that one?
Hey, wouldn't
What
you
the
like to
hell?
know, little pup?
What's the BJJ?
Okay, I'm having a headache hearing all this shit. Good luck, Maeve. Good luck. You got this. I believe in you. Good
Roger, I
luck.
feel
Well, I
bad for
mean-
you. It's like the one time all this stuff was happening, and then I told you about the other murder, and then you walked out the room.
Oh, yeah, no, that was just because I got told about like everything
Oh, you're
happening.
good, you're
I'm
good.
like,
I
why
know,
the fuck are they telling me this? You should be going to the LSPD command about this shit. And then I sat there and listened to the whole thing, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you could have just condensed it as he may have committed evidence tampering or fabrication, and this is why. And instead, we were sat there listening for 2 hours, and then they were like,
Yeah.
oh, the murder. And I was like, nah, I'm out. I'm done. I don't need to be here. Save me. I think I was texting Ventura at the same time, asking him to create something so I could leave. Like a distraction. I think I was trapped on top of the tiger, too.
Good.
When was the first report of stuff being broken, Rhodes?
Stuff being broken.
Did you just elephant fucking trumpet
Hey,
me? What
sorry.
the heck was that?
I was eating. Chaos was planning to do it on his, external MGT because he had to go off duty because he had a dinner planned or something.
Yes, man.
And he did it right away.
Okay. Yep,
And he was also waiting for Opal's statement as well. She had something crucial in there or something, and he had to hunt her down. But it's all done. It's been done since you told me.
I've been chasing them down, trying to get them arrested.
Yep, we'll get him. Trust me, I promise we'll get him.
All
right.
Thank you so much.
Right.
God bless.
God bless.
God bless.
No, I mean, there's no way you just did
she's
that.
ignoring us.
Who's ignoring you?
Jenna, she's fucking pissed off.
Jenna just said she was going to think about something and that she wouldn't be ignoring anyone, and then Bean immediately goes, Jenna!
No, she's pissed off.
Not a corruption quiz. Clarifying question. When you say yesterday,
Dave, the IT guy may hate me,
this when Ruth was editing,
but I did submit a recommendation of a copy rank.
Yeah, that would be good because then you could just
Start with one.
Cadet and then go up and add more.
Exactly. Oh, that'd be so good.
Who the fuck is Orange Draft? Oh, Orange Draft? Who the fuck is it?
Did we ever pull the armory logs to see if that tow guy stole anything?
Oh, was that the stuff I got a request for yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
Yeah, he only bought a flashlight and 3 barriers.
Oh, okay.
Do our barriers have serials on them?
Yeah, we do. Our barriers do.
All right, good. Just make. I don't.
I have a list of people that have the wrong FTO cert.
Well, it doesn't even matter because the right one doesn't work.
Well, I'm getting rid of the fake ones on them.
Yeah, get rid of the fake one.
Do I have the wrong one?
I have some state IDs that I'm going through.
1352.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh well, that ain't
You'd
true.
be able to. You'd be able to.
I can't make
You'd be able to check.
I can't make FTO reports.
Yeah, no one can right now.
Hang on.
Okay, I don't want to make Maeve talk no more. She's losing her voice.
No, keep asking her
it's-
questions.
It's what the hell? What? Wait.
Hold on.
Hey.
I'm starting to think that becoming high command in the BCSO results in you losing your voice.
No, I always
Looks at
sounded.
Jenna.
I always sounded
Looks
like
at
this.
Maeve. Rosner, you always sound like you're losing your voice.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a
surprised
permanent
he has
thing.
not lost his voice.
If anything, it's
Did
stronger.
the court rule that you were not capable as a cop?
No.
Okay, everyone who had the fake FTO cert has now removed it. It's gone. So
How'd
IT
you even
can
search for the
officially
fake one?
I got given state IDs for who has the fake
Oh.
one.
I still can't
So
create
now-
FTO
now-
reports though.
Well, that's not my problem because we can't fix certs.
Yeah, that's above our pay grade. Wait, hold on.
Wait, they pay the IT guy? I thought we just verbally
Okay,
abused
so
him in
you're
meetings.
under sheriff in here.
Hey, Key.
So create. You can't create FTO reports.
Nope.
Do you have the FTO cert?
Yep.
You could just add it to your ones that you can create. Oh wait, but
What?
then you wouldn't even see the FTO section. Because when you don't have FTO, you don't even see like FTO reports on the left.
Yeah. It's tied to that's why
Yeah.
as for like why people can't create FTO reports, I think the IT guy will figure that out because
Okay.
that's not something we
'Cause-
can fuck with, I don't think.
Yeah, I think even if you tried to add it to your reports create,
You don't that's not where you
it
create
wouldn't
reports.
fix any. Yeah, it wouldn't fix anything.
That's not
'cause
where you
can't
create FTO
see-
reports.
You go to people's staff profiles and you
Yeah.
create an FTO report there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I know.
I can do that.
Maybe that's not where you create them.
I'm saying that this wouldn't fix it. You can delete them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do to fix it. That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, no, they did not rule that I am incapable.
What?
They were trying to get there. That's for sure.
What? You know what's crazy is I walked into there and I was like, we shouldn't have even charged this Mushkin game-related shooting. She has no prize. We have no way of tying her to Kenishiro. This is kind of a lost cause. We shouldn't even be at trial. By the end of my witness statement, they threw so hard that I think she's actually going to get found guilty.
Old.
Kanashiro mechanic shop.
Yeah, when they started arguing with my son, oh God, I wish they'd asked a question about my equipment. I was about to go into they were trying to claim that I could not tell they were Kanashiro because I wear sunglasses at nighttime. And they were trying to get into the...
And then you put the sunglasses on top of your camera and take a picture.
Yeah, the crazy thing is he took the photos with his camera, so regardless of what he's wearing or what he sees, the camera's going to take the same photo.
They're like, did you take your lens cap off?
And then they were trying to argue that
he wearing sunglasses.
2 hours between me witnessing them doing it and me writing the report was too long of a time to remember any details. And then finally, I'm 61 years old, so I'm such of an advanced age that I'm unable to be on duty.
When she said it on stage, I lost it. I was like, no, I just don't want to be.
That's my old guy. Look at him.
He's so old. He's doing so well.
I'm below
You're doing so
retirement
good,
age.
Chip.
Retirement age is
right.
65.
And you've got so long left to go. You're doing great.
She asked me what the average age of a police officer was, and I was like, do I look like a fucking pollster? Like, what the fuck do you think I'm doing? Trying to get the census data of all our officers?
Oh.
They threw.
All right, are we done here?
Yeah.
All right, I got an hour.
I
on
think
duty.
so.
Hour.
Hour on duty.
Yeah, then I'm gonna go hang out with Cassie for a bit. I might come back on duty after. Who knows?
We're supposed to have Easter lunch.
Well, it's 7:30 p.m.
Well, it's maybe a little bit late for lunch then, but well, maybe tomorrow. Is
Yeah,
tomorrow
fine.
still Easter?
Yeah.
Tomorrow is Easter.
Tomorrow is Easter.
Happy Easter!
Happy Easter.
All right.
Does the IT guy hate us more?
No, I
He
think
could
he
never.
solved the fact that we cannot make FTO reports. He said in the worst way possible.
That's not
But he
what?
solved it.
It's a
He's figured
Band-Aid.
it out. He
Oh, so
figured it out.
He put some flex
but
tape on it. Okay.
He solved it in the worst way possible. That's all he said.
And you know what? If it works, it works.
Yeah, I'll take
If
it.
it works, it works. Oh my God, Maeve.
What?
I have 2 ideas. One I already pushed forth, the copying of a previous rank. The other is, actually, I guess it's not that much of an issue if we can copy because they'd all be identical, but sorting of all permissions in the exact same way, in the exact same order.
Yes.
So if they exist, they only show up, and that way it's all
Maybe
consistent.
next time. Maybe
Yeah,
next
yeah,
time.
maybe
Rhodes.
next time.
Maybe not. Maybe,
Not right now. Listen, I don't want to give the guy a heart attack. I don't want
maybe
to.
not this year.
Love the guy. Love the
Why
guy.
are you guys looking ahead to next year? What's happening?
What?
Oh, fucking. I'm just saying, like, you know, next
No,
time we
next-
have a fucking
next crisis.
MVP.
Did you say thank you very much to them?
IT guy, if you are listening in, thank you.
So
I think it's
we
got
found the
bugs in the room.
issue. It's actually it's Rose's fault.
Yeah.
Oh.
What did
Oh.
I do?
It's because there's PD cadet and there's cadet.
Oh.
Huh?
So you fucked it.
Yeah,
It's okay,
someone
Rhodes.
renamed all the
It could have happened
originals, so now cadets need the cadet tag for us to be able to make FT reports for them.
Oh, so it's tied to their cadet rank that it's on their
Yes.
profile so that we can
Yes.
create it.
God
Yeah.
damn it, Rose. It actually is your fault.
Everyone shame Rhodes. Everyone shame him.
Wait, so you just want me to take PD off of the cadet?
No, I mean we can probably fix it now that we know what the problem is.
Well, yeah, I mean that's.
Wait,
I think that's all I did, right?
Because maybe roads don't touch it. Let me do it.
I think the
Stop
solution
touching
is more
hey,
so
hey,
to add
IT
the-
guy, do you want
gonna let
Rhodes
the
to fix
IT
it?
guy-
He can
no,
hide. He
no.
can fly in there and do it real quick.
No, IT guy is definitely saying let him fix it.
Okay.
By him, he means
let
Rhodes,
who?
right?
The
I
IT
think
guy
that's you,
fix it or
Rhodes.
me?
Let IT guy fix it. Let IT
Okay.
guy fix it.
I don't know. I think he needs some help, Rhodes. You might want to roll your sleeves up some more. Get in there.
Yeah, maybe like lean over his shoulder while he's at the computer and like point at the screen
Anytime,
and tell him what
Breathe
to do.
into his ear.
Anytime that the IT guys need it for something, I picture when like you were a kid helping your dad fix something and he has you holding the flashlight and he just keeps snapping at you because the flashlight is like veering off a little bit.
It's casting a shadow from where
You're-
you're standing
he
and
keeps
you're
moving
aiming
his
it.
head. He keeps moving his head in front of it and he's blaming you.
No,
That's
I'll come
me.
back out.
That's me with the
We
IT
fix
guy
the
trying to
issue.
fix stuff.